Hi, my name's Charlotte Erica Walker, and this is my animal communication breakthrough.
Can you tell me, where did you get started with animal communication?
I initially started about 2 years ago. So I had been having animal communication for my pets that I have at home. And it got me really interested in it. One of the situations was that my dog was getting old, and he's now in spirit, a boxer called Bruce. And he was ill, and it was a case of I wanted him to have healing done and a bit of animal communication. And it sort of spurred me on to understand what was going on, and he was able to sort of guide me to let me know when it was time to pass. And I also had animal communication done with my cat, who's still with me, called Smeg. He's now 10 years old. And it was the case that he had a few issues after Bruce's passing, and I needed to get them rectified because I think he was worried that I would actually sort of get rid of him. And he was biting me and drawing blood and scratching me. So I sought the help from an animal communicator to express to him that everything's going to be fine. And amazingly, after that session and a bit of healing, he's like a different cat. He hasn't bitten me. He doesn't swipe at me. Doesn't scratch. He's really cuddly. So we have a completely different relationship, and he trusts me. So I think that's the main thing. Trust comes up a lot in my understanding of my animals, and also now with the work I do. So I got in contact with an animal communicator that you know very well, and she actually helped me to refine my animal communication skills after I brought in my new rescue boxer dog. Oh. So she actually saw him the first time in the rescue when I did. So I sent her a photo of him to say, could we do a bit of communication and see whether he would fit into our family? And we did it, and it was amazing. And then that really got me hooked. So I was like, right, I have to do this. And the timing was excellent because she then developed an online community that could actually do animal communication. We could sort of experience it and practice in a safe environment online. So that just opened up lots of new doors.
That's incredible. Did you just pick it up right away? Was it easy for you, or did you have any challenges?
I definitely did have challenges, but there's one thing that was said to me a few years ago. I was at a spiritual holistic fair, and I saw a shaman, and the first thing he said to me was, do you realize you can talk to animals? Oh. And my answer was, yes, I thought everybody could. So I think I've always had the innate ability to do it as a child. I was always a bit tuned in, but you know how society puts you through different things and you sort of lose the ability. So it was only when I met my teacher the last 2 years where I've honed in on my skills at being able to do animal communication.
Mm-hmm. What do you feel it was your biggest hurdle to really doing it the way you're doing it now?
Yeah, so confidence and self-doubt, huge, absolutely huge. And I think everybody has that. I had communicated with lots of cats and lots of dogs, and I have a cats and dogs. So I'm like, yeah, I'm good at this. But then we did some wildlife, which was interesting, which was great. But then I had a horse, and it's like, I'm not really tuned in with horses. So I was a bit, I won't say pessimistic, but I was a bit like, oh, what if the answers are wrong, but obviously you don't have wrong answers. But this horse obviously came to educate me as my teacher, to say that I could communicate with every animal. Her name is Tess, and she's in the US. She's in California, and she said that she was scared of the thunderstorms that you have. You have quite big lightning and thunderstorms, and she said that she was scared of the noise, and that she thought that lights would help her. And I was thinking, what is she saying? And she said about fairy lights. And I was like, a horse talking about fairy lights? I don't understand. What is this? This can't be correct. Anyhow, what had happened was, she said that I see fairy lights and I want some in my stable when there's a thunderstorm. So we asked the guardian, and the guardian said, oh, how funny. I have fairy lights around our property, wrapped around every tree. Oh. And she said that she actually thought 6 months previous, oh, I would like to put some fairy lights up in the stable, but she never bothered, and she never did. And this horse, Tess, had obviously liked it, picked up on it, understood it, and was asking, well, can I have these fairy lights? And so the guardian said, yes, I'm going to put up these fairy lights. And the other thing she said was, I like to go camping with my friends. And I was thinking, a horse saying she likes to go camping with her friends. What is that? What is that? So we asked the guardian again, and she says, yeah, we go camping overnight in the summer, and I go with my friends and their horses. Oh. And that was really, because Tess was so clear in those two messages, I was like, okay, I can do this. Yeah. So that was my true breakthrough moment as well.
Uh-huh. That's so great to be at that point where you realize, wow, I'm really getting this.
Yeah, exactly. Wow. Yeah.
So, and you know that your expansive view of animal communication is really great, because you're able to see all the different ways that things could really play out, and not necessarily blame yourself for something when it could be any number of other things. And that really helps your own confidence, because it often is something that we don't think of, or it's not apparent in the moment.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So because I did have that self-doubt where it kicked in, but when I saw it from a different angle and realized actually it might not be right for them at this very moment in time, but it might be later on in the future. So yeah, I suppose it's like give yourself a bit of a break sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so that kind of process that you went through kind of broke you free from that, and you became confident enough. Are you now a professional communicator?
Yes, I can now say that, because it's taken me a while to say it. And now that I have, in the last week, my message has got out there through newspapers and things, I can now say that I'm fully fledged communicator.
All right.
So yeah, I've worked, I've done quite a lot of diploma in animal healing and things like that. So this was another string to my bow, and now it's all come together that that's what I'm doing as a business. I'm providing people with that outlet that they can help their pet.